Our friend Wade sent this in. One of the most famous matches in TNA history.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, the cage match.
Yes.
With Triple X. And
Wade, good shot. I'm glad you got that, man.
so he's got Christopher Daniels over here, Elix Skipper. And then we got to finish it off. The request is Chris Harris in the white paint pen.
Oh, wow. He's got those two. That might be the first time.
I know.
The first one that I've seen.
That's going to be completed.
With both of them, yeah.
Well, and we're going to talk about AMW, of course, but what's your memories of that match or maybe even that spot in particular? Because that's what people here, he actually requested the white, yeah. That's what people remember, and everyone remembers the match, but that, like, people really remember that moment. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I got so many memories of this one. Yeah, and what a great shot that is, because that's the moment.
I'm going to show it to you guys, by the way.
People still talk about to this day. And everybody always says it's one of the most played moments in TNA history.
It's top 5 at the very least, and it might be the most played because it was the biggest moment for the first 10 years, you know. And then even since then, they still will play it. But guys, and then we'll have you talk about this, Chris, too. Look at this. I want to show everyone this. A lot of people are going to be jealous. So Elix Skipper, Christopher Daniels, and now Wildcat Chris Harris from one of the early TNA super pay-per-views when they would go to the monthly pay-per-views. I think it's one match of the year.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the greatest matches in TNA history, one of the most memorable spots in wrestling history of the last 25 years. Can you talk about it, Chris?
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, that's a big one there to have both those guys sign that. I've seen some of those shots where they've had one or the other. Usually it's Elix missing because he doesn't do a lot of appearances.
Does not do a lot.
So,
I think he's done 2 in the last 15 years.
That's pretty cool that he got that. Yeah, I mean, that's... What to say about that match? Just incredible match. It took 4 guys to put that together. Very special to me, very special to all of us. As far as that moment, yeah, I mean, a huge feud built up between us and Triple X. It had been going on for a long time. In fact, that cage match was so well liked that it almost overshadowed. We actually had a cage match earlier in the Nashville days, in the Asylum days.
Yeah, that's right.
We had a cage match there, which I thought was incredible. So right away, the 4 of us were like, when we had the opportunity to do the 6 sides of steel, we thought, you know, how are we going to top that? And right away, we started to tell ourselves, let's not even try that. Let's just go out there and do what we do. So we tried to get it out of our head to try to top that first match, but turns out I think we did.
Yeah.
But as far as that moment goes, I know I've talked about it a lot of times, but if you haven't heard it, so the backstory is Elix Skipper, part of his arsenal, he would set people on the top rope and walk from the corner across the rope and do a Hurricane Rana. So it was part of his arsenal to do that. So when he first brought it up, you know, it wasn't like completely crazy. I mean, crazy to do it up there, but it was one of his moves. So that day, it wasn't brought up until that day. And Elix brought it up when we were talking, and I think right away, I'm not sure how much either one of us thought about it. I think, you know, Storm might have, I can't say he said no because Storm doesn't say no to much. But somehow it became the conversation with Elix and I, and there was just so much room it was just so dangerous, so much room for somebody to get hurt that we talked about it very little. And I think I kind of told him, I said, let's not even try that. It's too dangerous. And I'm not sure what I said in that because I don't remember much about that first conversation, but I remember, you know, we decided not to do it.
Okay.
And it wasn't but just a few hours before the show, a couple hours before the show, I just started thinking about it. And it was one of those things where the more it got heavy on my mind, and the more I started thinking about it, I did start thinking of how incredible it would be if we actually pulled that off. So I went up to Elix, just the 2 of us, and I went up to him and just raised the question to him. I said, man, are you sure you can do that? And what sold me on this was that there was no wavering from Elix at all. Like, he didn't give me a, well, this and that. He looked at me when I said, are you sure you can do this? He looked at me and he said, yes, I can do it. And with his confidence, that kind of came on to me. I was like, then we're doing it. We're doing it. I'll do my part. You do yours. And so it was the confidence that Elix had that he felt that he could do something. He could do this. He could pull this off. And so I worked it out to where I was going to get the best position for him. And as we're up there, Elix is making his climb and, making it look like a struggle. And I'm sitting on the top of the cage, and we had something where Daniels was there, so I looked busy. I was fighting Daniels as I was sitting up there, and I remember looking over, and I saw how Elix was struggling to get his footing, and so right away I was thinking that this is not going to happen. And as I'm kicking Daniels in the head, I was telling him, I was like, we need to go to plan B, whatever that was. I don't even know what that was, but I was like, we need to go to plan B. And right about that time, I didn't even have a chance. By the time I don't even know if I turned my head, but my eyes went to the left and he was on me. So it was just a matter of, that fast that I'm telling Daniels, we need to think of something else. And when I went back to take a look at Elix, he was already on top of me and we were going. So honestly, it couldn't have come off any better than it did. Elix took his fall and he was safe. And even though I was coming down from a long distance, I probably landed as safe as I could. It was a long way and it did hurt, but man, the reaction we got from that was incredible. And I took a hard fall, so yeah, I paid for that. But you got to give the credit to Elix, man. He's the one that made that walk, and it was incredible. It was if he'd have fallen one way or another, it would not have been good. So what an incredible moment, and I think that's pretty cool that he got the signatures from all three of us. So.
And you deserve credit too, because like you said, it wasn't going to happen. And then you were like, you know what? Let's make it happen. And then it happened. And
well, what's funny about the credit, I know for a lot of years, when people would talk about that spot, of course, they said the words they would use is, Elix's walk across the cage. And I know for a long time, and I just tried to make it a running joke. I was like, how come people don't talk about the guy that took that bump?
Caught him and then what with it? Yeah, I know. That's
so yeah, but I just made a joke about it, but it was cool. One of the TNA shows just a couple years ago, I guess it was in probably Atlanta, somewhere down in the Georgia area, because that's where Elix is from, and he made an appearance down there, and him and I got to talk and hang out. We hadn't seen each other in years, and we even did a little something they filmed. I'm not even sure if they aired it somewhere for TNA, but where we talked about the two of us got to talk about that moment. So yeah, really cool, man. Yeah, really cool.
That is very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for saying that, Wade.